Welcome to this journey with Soulshine. This is another way that you can actually be reliant on the universe to take care of you. You may or may not have money to be able to go buy everything that you want in life all the time. And even if you did, good luck finding it, because these are coconuts that most people don't want to go do all the work to get. And if they do, they're going to keep them for themselves or sell them to you for a lot of money. So what you can do is you can find people like me, and we can do work trades where maybe you can help me figure out how to do some social media stuff and present my artwork and everything to a platform which reaches millions of people who could buy my art and help support my life. And then I could give you a bunch of trees of life, coconuts, and help support your life. Also, I got mangoes. I got tips for you, tools for transformation, all kinds of different things. But this is how we take something that's in most people's yards just making a mess, and they're super dangerous. So if they fall on you, it's potentially that they could kill you or definitely going to break something. So what we're doing is we're providing a service to people with coconut trees, getting these things down from them so that everybody's safe, and at the same exact time we're getting to use all the meat. It's a big process here opening them all up. So right now I just opened like 12 of them or something. So pretty much now I have to go into all of this, every single one of these, and I mean, you could waste it all if you want, but that's just a mess. So what I do is I crack them all open, get all of the water out first and put them in jars, and then I crack them all open again, and then I fill up a big jar full of meat. And you can use a spoon or a knife, it depends. But all this is going to be made into a coconut milk, probably. Well, it is going to be made into coconut milk. And then those pieces right here, they're going to turn brown. And as they start to turn brown and break down, they're going to turn into a whole bunch of amazing compost. And it's really good to utilize nature's bounty in the best way possible. So today I went out and I was scouting out every place I could get to, looking for coconut trees in people's yards, and then I was leaving notes on their doors asking them if I could clean their trees for free and trade for all of the nuts. And one guy called me back and said, yes, you can. So I went to his house to go get the nuts, but I didn't realize that when I put the note on his house that it was actually a very leaning tree, and that very leaning tree was very dangerous. So I climbed it anyways, but I could only get a few nuts off of the tree because I was kind of scared I was going to hit his house, because it was right over his house too, and I was going to fall out. So I used my intuition, got what I could, and got out of there. Saw some mango trees across the way. I saw some people while I was up in there going to get mangoes, and off of the ground in the yard of this person's yard. I didn't know if they had permission or not. It didn't matter, they were doing it anyway. I like to have permission if I could go and get stuff, so I asked first. And most people say yes, because they don't like the mess. So if you share a little bit with them, like I opened a few coconuts for the guy, if you share with them, they're more likely to say yes too. So we help each other out, because not everybody can swing a machete, you know what I mean? Especially not if you're freaking a woman or an old person who's never done it before. So for you to get all this and do all this, it's probably going to be way more work than it takes to just go buy it. So you're not going to do it. So your trees are going to be in there for a long time. I mean, the guy who I got these trees from, he planted the trees. So it's really nice that I have the opportunity to meet the people and have them tell me about their trees, and as I go get them. So I was in the tree and I saw the mangoes across, so I went to go ask the lady in the roundabout story that I'm telling you right now. Well, first I was going to go knock on the door, but I didn't want to impede on people's lives, and I didn't have a note to put in her mailbox. So I just waited, and then by the time I was leaving that one house with the leaning tree, the lady came outside and she was taking her trash cans in. So I offered to take her trash cans in and asked her if I could have permission to pick up a couple mangoes off the ground if I cleaned up the mess on the ground of all the rotten ones. And she said, yes, that would be wonderful. You can have all the mangoes you possibly want. Thanks for cleaning up the mess of the other ones. You can put them in that trash can right there. I appreciate that. Just don't climb the tree because I don't want to be responsible for you. I said, no problem. I won't climb a tree. Thanks for letting me have all of the ones on the ground. And she said, right now there isn't any because, well, she didn't see that the other people came and picked them off the ground, but really, she said, come back after a storm because the storm shakes them all off of the tree. So there's usually a lot of them on the ground, like big, gigantic, amazing mangoes. Like, talking about money here, well, money comes in the form of energy, and energy's everywhere. So if I had to buy a mango like that, it'd be like $15 because of how the kind of mango and how good it is. So if you like mangoes, you can harvest them and dry them and turn them into ice cubes. You can do all kinds of things. So for me, I got access to having as many free mangoes as I want. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait till the storm. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go pick some mangoes off of a tree, or not off of a tree, but off of the ground. So there should be, she said, like at least 25 pounds worth. So then the guy came out, the neighbor of that house, and started talking to me. And I told him that I was climbing coconut trees across the way. He's like, oh yeah? What do you do with them? I told him I eat them. I didn't realize he had coconut trees in his yard. So he invited me over and showed me his coconut trees and told me I could have all the coconuts out of all of them. Ironically enough, way better than that leaning tree above the roof that I was scared of. But I had to follow my intuition and know that there was something more. And then I got mangoes and permission to climb 5 more trees to get tons of these nuts. So some people might say I'm nuts. I am. And so are you. So this is a lot of coconut meat and coconut water. And the task at hand is to continue wildcrafting and foraging and making coconut milk that we put with our raw cacao. And our ceremonial cacao, we add vanilla and some cayenne pepper. So coconut water, coconut milk, cayenne pepper, and raw cacao from Guatemala. Wisp it all together, and that's our drink every morning. It's actually food from the gods, for the gods. Lots of nutrients for you. Lots of good fats, lots of good energy, lots of good electrolytes. So it's really nice to be able to have access in these times, which they say these times, but I'm going to guarantee you these times have always been going on. It's just sometimes we get a little privileged and we forget about certain things, but then there's a time that comes and we look back out and we realize nothing's really changed. But you have. That's the key. Because you can't make changes in the world like stopping the waves from coming in and out in the ocean. But you definitely can stop your mind, brain, frame energy coming in and out. That's not beneficial for you. So for me, I like to eat and drink high vibrational, high energy foods. And the more I get into this, the more I'm learning. The more I'm learning, the more I can teach. It's like permaculture, sustainability, homesteading, taking care of your life, whatever, all kinds of skills. So whatever you need to know, whatever you need to learn, there's always somebody around who knows it. I'd be a teacher of a lot of stuff. I'm definitely willing to learn a lot more, for sure. Always going to. But right now I'm going to teach you and me how to go through this process of opening up coconuts, making compost with the coconut core for the organic garden that's going to go in zone 10A over here in Florida, which definitely doesn't happen during the summer, which I learned. Not the hard way, but not the easy way either. So now I know you got to get prepared for certain things. So you got to think ahead. So when I do this for making desserts for people and doing this for other people, I do it on a stainless steel counter, and everything is washed and cleansed and cleared. And then I bring all that debris and everything outside, and then I chop it all up into pieces and put it into the compost. So all the other stuff's done inside. Then my wife takes over Majestic Sparkleton, and she turns it all into delicious dessert and delicious other things for the galactic casbah / island delights. So she runs a certified kitchen to make all the desserts and the treats, and I'm her helper. And out here, I'm the one who goes and forages and gets permission to get the fruit off of the trees, bring it back, process it for however long it takes. In this case, this has been all day long. No, that's not true. Actually, I started at 2 o'clock. It's about 8 o'clock right now. So it's been 6 hours up the tree, down the tree, clean up the mess, make some water, and get to this point. So it's a labor of love, for sure. But as is everything, if you want something quality, you can have it. If you want something quantity, well, quantity of quality takes a long time. Raw desserts and raw pies, sometimes you got to dehydrate things that take 3 days just to dehydrate things. So not only do you got to sprout certain things for however long that takes, then you got to dehydrate them after it sprouts, after you make your whole thing. It's a whole process. So unless you have a whole bunch of epic chefs working together, making everything at once and doing things on the like, you still couldn't make that many. So that's why there's a lot of regular dessert out there. But as far as getting into your, what do they call it, boutique or super high grade quality things, it costs a lot of what you would call money to be able to buy all the ingredients, because you got to source the best vanilla, you got to source the best honey, you got to source the best nuts, you got to source the best everything. And to get every single person that you're going to need to provide something for you, to have something so exquisite from so many places, everybody's going to ask for something. Trade, barter, or money, doesn't matter, it all adds up. So reciprocity is reciprocity. We all have things to offer, we all have things to give, and I'm in here in Florida, but in any tropical place that there's coconuts, you can do this. But for me, to provide my services and do anything for you, if you live in Florida, go ahead and give me a shout out. Say, what's up? How can you come help me learn, teach, or do any of these things? And we can talk. In the meantime, my channel is based on metaphysical energy, physical energy, spiritual energy. My whole art site platform that we're on, the sacred stage, is all about the intergalactic time traveling genie known as soulshine. And that intergalactic time traveling genie known as soulshine actually is a version of myself that time travels in and out of this body, named Sebastian, teaching him cool stuff about life, synchronistic rendezvous. And I like to document all those things, and writing stories and books and making videos, and in as many ways as I can share. But I tell you, it's not truth. It's not real. It's my truth and my reality, and it's my version of that currently now in this time zone continuum, but that changes depending on whether the time traveler has come in from a place more advanced or less advanced than where I am now. So there's channels that come through that are like, you know, when we make a painting or we make a wire wrap or something, you have an inspiration from the muses. They come in and they inspire you to do something, because obviously creatively some of us get possessed immediately with an idea, then we just got to have that idea. So whether it's right, wrong, good, or bad, doesn't matter. The muses move us, and it's nice to be moved by something in life rather than not moved by it, as far as in an inspiring way, not a pushing way, but like, yeah, way, you know? So when I go up the coconut trees, I love it a lot. I realize that when I'm up on top of the tree and my legs are shaking a little bit and I'm having to remind myself to breathe. There's branches, there's ants, there's bugs, there's debris. I'm still just having to remind myself of mindfulness while I'm up there every step of the way, every moment, every breath. Because one wrong move and you either fall or coconuts fall on you, or you cut something, or you cut your rope, or you cut your hand, or all these things can happen while you're up in that tree. And I work alone usually, so I have to be extra careful and trust what I'm doing. So trusting in the fact that I love it so much that I didn't realize it until today when I got up there. I was like, wow, this is super amazing. I really love doing this. So having a job doing this is really, can't go wrong, because it's a passion. It's a passionate thing doing this. I don't know, you see how many coconuts I just did? A lot. I got a few more. And then this class will be over. And what we have learned in this class from the beginning till now is how to make a mess. And it could either be a creative mess or it could just be a mess. So that's why I came up with the permaculture idea of taking all this coconut core, which is valid and expensive stuff you can buy at the store when they turn it into the bricks. Well, instead of doing that, I just make my own, because it makes great soil. Yes, you gotta feed your plants still, but soil's made up of a lot of different stuff. My soil is going to be made up of mushroom, mycorrhizal fungi that I'm going to inoculate all over this coconut core. It's going to be inoculated with, some of this coconut's really hard to get out, some is easy, but it's going to be inoculated with the mycorrhizal fungi. It's going to spread through it. It's going to inoculate everything. Then with the soil, we're going to start to make a symbiotic relationship with the ground under us, and we're going to call all the microbes and the worms and everything that's beautiful and amazing to be able to come up and not get drowned by the underneathness, but they're going to come up into all of this and they're going to have a nice place to live. And when you create a colony of really good energy and a nice place for things to live that are beneficial for your garden, then it's way harder for bugs to come and mold to come and everything to kill your garden, because they'll be living in a symbiotic relationship with each other. When you're in a symbiotic relationship with each other, sometimes we call that resonance. And if we're in resonance with the journey, then we'll have tips come to us that help get better at whatever we're doing. So for me, I don't have time to spend on the social media platform learning how to promote my art and sell things to be able to take care of things. So I'm asking everybody else who is good at selling art or social media or promoting or any of those things, who wants to help assist the sacred stage get some more of the magical pieces to the magical people. I do custom orders and everything, so we're into all that. However, at the same time, I can also help you with, I got a list on one of my other videos, all of the things we offer, including teaching you how to make food that is awesome, and or making it for you, how to garden or doing it for you. Pretty much talk about tribal revival. Jacks of all trades, technicians of the sacred, manifestors of the real, systems busters, hybrid DNA from the star clusters that surround our galaxies within the multiverse. Stardust, we should say. So, from ashes to dust, in the mycelium, we should trust. The Akash. There's a deep thing that's found in the chaga mushroom. When you boil the chaga mushroom, which I wouldn't recommend you do when you're making it, but simmering it for a long time. But if you did, let's say, boil it, and everything you would think would be dead, it's true, it is all dead, but not really. It's not dead at all, actually. To tell you the honest truth, you can't kill it. Apparently, no matter how hot it gets, from the story that, so the people who had the composting toilet actually went to the bathroom afterwards after they had consumed all of that chaga that they had made into this boiled elixir that they drank. They noticed that in their poop and everything inside of their composting toilet, which normally they could live on and use for quite a while in the middle of the forest, but it came to terms that in this story, within a couple of weeks instead of a couple of months, there was all these stringed fibers growing everywhere in the composting toilet. They're like, what the heck? Come to find out, it was the chaga mushroom mycelium growing in there, because it inoculated through their pee and poop. And the point of that is it's called compost. So in that case, all the compost was showing us that no matter how much we thought we could kill it by boiling it and everything, the akash, there's something still living inside of it that wasn't. So chaga is a group of mushrooms, a community of mushrooms, not just one, it's a whole bunch of them that grows on birch trees simultaneously while the birch tree's still alive even. Doesn't hurt or kill the birch tree. They live in a symbiotic relationship. So with the birch trees, and the reminder of the gratitude and the appreciation for how life gives us everything that we need, our opportunity to be able to learn that for ourselves is critical right now at this moment. If we're going to be able to take care of ourselves in a way that we want to, that's called quality, because there's not enough beings out there providing the quality that I need for me. So then I can be a provider of that for sure, a few people around me. But other than that, to go big, it takes a lot more resources. So I'm down to collaborate. If you're down to collaborate, if you got any more ideas, where was I going with it all? It's all connected. That's the point, the mycelium. Watch some other videos, see where I'm going. Peace.